Qualcomm Interactive platforms here at Uplink talking about the Toq watch 2Q. I think the first thing that you really see when you see the watch is that it's really bright because of the mirror saw display. The watch really has sort of two modes. One is you really don't want to be bumping the touchscreen and having it do things. So in this mode, which is really the watch face mode, the only thing that really does anything is that slider on the bottom. And these are different watch faces that I can have. So for example, you saw that's actually my calendar that's synced from my phone. And it changes based on the meetings. I still have the time up here because it is a watch face and we're playing with how big each of those pieces of text are. But later on in the day I might want to put something on like that. I might want to see what the weather is, so I can have a weather clock face. So the idea is at the top level you kind of use that as an at-a-glance personalization. The calendar one was one where I was spending too much time diving into the interface, and I thought, well, we could really play with that, and a lot of people really like that one. In the evening, I usually use that face because it's really clear and really easy to see. So that sort of is the at-a-glance thing, and you'll get notifications that will pop up in this mode also. And then if you really want to drill down into the stuff, the applications live underneath. So I just sort of tap to wake it up. I can tap to put it to sleep. You can call it locking it on anything. And I have things like I have my call log and SMS log. And it's things that there's Jeremy telling me to run to the stage for my last talk because I was doing an interview and late. Let's actually respond to Jeremy. And one of the things I can do is I could actually start the call directly from the watch, or I could actually SMS him back with something quick. And it's a pre-configured list that you actually can set up on the Android application that is communicated to the watch. So it actually just sent a text message to Jeremy, who's actually sitting outside. I can see my calendar, which we sort of have already peeked at, right? And this scrolls around. So when you're in this mode, it's a full touchscreen. Swipe to the left is actually the back. So we tried to do the interface based on sort of gross gestures like up, down, left, and right, rather than really fine-grained things that you have to do with your finger. We talk to the music player on your phone too through AVRC, and so you can start and stop, and you've got headsets on or using wireless speakers. It's particularly useful to control the music just from your wrist. You can configure what cities you want the weather in. It's kind of boring to put San Diego in there because it's pretty much the same all the time, but oh, look how hot it is in New York. It was 97 the last time I looked, so that's pretty hot. And then there's other things on there, like we can look at stock quotes and there's a bunch of settings like airplane mode and things like that. So it's really quite straightforward. A lot of the behavior that's really cool is driven by the interactive part of it, the notifications part, so that when I get a message from WhatsApp, I get a notification on my watch that says, oh, in that group somebody sent a message, and you can decide if you're going to go read it or not. Or you got a Twitter message or somebody mentioned you on Twitter. Those kinds of things can happen right in the face, and we didn't have to do direct integration because we hook into the Android notifications manager.
Can you talk a little about the mirror saw display? I know a lot of people are familiar, but a lot of people aren't about how it works without having to be illuminated from the backside and whatnot.
Right, so the mirror saw display is actually based on, if you really want to walk back all the way through, the idea came from looking at how butterflies make colors on their wings. So it's a reflective technology. Butterfly wings don't actually have any pigment on them. They actually trap wavelengths of light differently. Sort of, you can think of it as nanometer pockets that reflect different wavelengths of light back, and that's what mirror saw is technology displayed on. So it's a reflective technology. So even in the light room right now, it doesn't require light. Now there is a front light on the watch for when it's really dark, right? And it's not a backlight; it's actually a front light. So we had to channel the light into the front of the pixels. But I can tell you that probably 99% of the time I've never turned on the light on the watch, except I sat on the plane in the dark last week, and I did. But other than that, if there's any light, I can use this at a glance, and that's part of what we're interested in with mirror saw, because of the way we did this reflective display. You don't need the light, and the pixels sort of stay really easily in steady state with very low standby current.
We can actually
battery helps with battery life, and it lets you. I mean, the watch doesn't have an on-off switch, right? There's a extraordinary situation it gets in where you think she doesn't have enough power to run Bluetooth, you'll still have the display on for still a bunch of hours after that. So we're looking for days and days of battery life, not weeks, but days.
And can we see that battery on the bottom side real quick?
So one of the things we chose to do in the design, because we wanted to keep it thin on top, is we actually put the battery into the band itself. Right, so now you've got the watch. You can sort of see what the band looks like, and let's actually look over at the charger then, if that's okay. The other thing that's really cool about it is it's all wireless charging. So both the watch and the headsets are built on top of Y-Power LE. And if you watch the clock face as I put this in, you'll see the indicator. Here, you know what I'll do? I'll tilt this up a little bit. So put that in there. And you notice that watch face change is what, whoa, sorry. Let's do that again. So I'm going to just put the watch in here, and that watch face change tells you that it's charging and shows you the battery indicator. Right.
Excellent. Very cool.
And then when the headsets come out, which will be a little bit after the watch, they will charge right in these little things here, and the charger actually doubles as a case. Just a simple micro USB on the back, so if you don't have to carry a second charger just for your wearables that you're wearing.
Excellent. Very good. Thank you.